Abundance is your birthright, and so is financial independence. I don't even care who you are. Just like money, there's so much abundance to go around, and your energy is going to go where your attention goes. So if you start to focus on your abundance, opportunities will start to flood in, including money-making opportunities. This was exactly what I did, and it worked out for me. I knew I deserved abundance, so I worked really hard for my independence. I didn't depend on anyone except for myself for everything that I own and everything that I've achieved. So if your goal is to achieve financial independence, start believing that you deserve abundance right now. I promise you, if you believe that you can get out of your situation, find your freedom, and never be broke again, you will start seeing signs everywhere that will point you in that direction of achieving financial independence. But specifically with abundance, I'm talking about how it gives us the freedom to do whatever we want in our lives within a capitalist society. There is no reason why we can't achieve this in our day and age, okay? Most of us have access to the internet, and so we have access to knowledge on how to make money. We can learn skills that make us money online. We have gig economies. We can start investing our money from $1. Anything else is honestly an excuse. And I can tell you this one thing, just saving money is not it. Just going to school to get your education is not it. And just working hard is not it either. But I'm going to tell you what is it. And hopefully this video is going to be your first sign to start today. And I'm going to teach you everything that I know about making money, about developing streams of income, and how I achieve financial independence. By the way, hi, my name is May, and my channel is all about improving yourself physically, mentally, and spiritually. And so if you want to become better and you like my vibe, do give me a like and subscribe to my channel. So I'm actually going on vacation next month, and one of the countries I'm traveling to is Dubai, just to go and check it out for a few days. And I'm so curious to see what it's going to be like there compared to New York, especially when it comes to people's attitudes about money. Open up my horizons a little bit, which brings me to my first point. When it comes to making money, we need to start with our mindset. This is the most important part. And this is also where so many people go wrong, and they end up blocking themselves from wealth, and they go broke because there's something in their heads that's stopping them from becoming successful. Not everyone wants material success, and so not everyone's going to achieve it. But here we're focusing on how money can give you freedom. And then there's people who are just so off the deep end that they let their gambling addictions take over their life. Money controls a lot of people's lives, so you need to realize when that's happening to you. I also don't complain about money, especially money that I already spent, because I know it comes back to me. I have the mentality that money will always come back to me, and I'm not afraid of spending money that will make me even more money. Think of money as circulating, not spending and leaving you constantly. What goes around will come around. Money can come in from anywhere, and you don't need to clock into your work every day for it. I've had money come in from totally unexpected avenues this year, and it happened because my attitude changed. Maybe you find that very hard to believe, and you might even make excuses for me like, oh, I'm just some privileged rich girl or whatever. But you know what? Even though I wasn't born with that privilege, as some of you guys may know, I do believe that I am privileged. I do deserve everything and more. I am a rich girl. And the universe is rewarding me accordingly because that's how I think, that's how I see myself. I am all of me and then some and then more, and I add service charge and sales tax on top of that. Okay, and then for example, a lot of you guys demonize money and you think that money is the root of all evil. That's truly what you think, that you're not going to like dealing with people with money. You're not going to show up to opportunities where there's money to be made, and subconsciously you're going to keep blocking yourself from money, and you're not going to want money. You might even hate your own bank account. You see how they can go downhill really quick? That's you repelling money. But what if you change that? What if you're open to it? What if money is neutral to you? What if money is a tool for you to find success and live your dreams? In order for you to find abundance, we need to address your lack mindset. Why do you hate money? How come you hate money? Why do you think you deserve to be broke? Why do you think that you need to be super frugal and scrimp and save every single cent in order to make money? A scarcity or lack mentality is where you're focused on how limited you are, and that you're overly attached to how little money you have. You need to realize that there's so much money in the world. I think that even in a rich city like New York, I'm still surrounded by a lot of people with the lack mentality. The broke artist mindset, where people are constantly depending on other people financially because of learned helplessness, because they don't think that they can make money. They think that they're underprivileged in every single way. I'm honestly so sick of it. And as you know, your net worth is your net worth. And if I'm trying to become more abundant, I need to eventually leave the environment that's going up against everything that I'm trying to build. Sometimes I go for walks and cafes and run my errands in richer neighborhoods. I study the people I see, what they're wearing, how they carry themselves. But you also need to realize that these people are not any different from you. Don't put them on a pedestal. When I was in the Bahamas last year, my cab driver told me that some of the richest people that he's met, they'd actually dress super simple. They don't care about how they're being perceived because they have it. They have that abundance. And these people, you're gonna start realizing that they're made of the same stuff as you are, and that that you're just as capable and deserving of getting rich as they are. Like, for example, I just sold an asset of mine in New York, my houseboat actually, and this guy who bought it is my dream buyer. He's a rich artist, and I can tell that he's rich without him even telling me I'm a rich artist, because all he did was he got on a call with me and he was like, okay, I want to buy it right now, full ass. My assistant is going to wire you a large deposit to you right now. And I got interest from other buyers, and they're like, what's the lowest you can go? Will you do this price? What's the return on investment? And they asked me a million questions, but this guy was just like, I'll buy it right now. And then 2 hours later, I got the money and the asset technically is his now. There's a huge difference in attitude between a well-off person with an abundance mindset versus someone who doesn't. This guy was clearly not interested in wasting anyone's time, his time, my time. He's not being wishy-washy about anything. He's super decisive. He knows exactly what he wants, and money works for him and paves the way for him, makes everything convenient for him and everyone else, honestly, because all it took for him to buy that asset was a 5-minute phone call versus someone with like a so-called like not rich mentality where they will come to see it, they'll ask me a million questions, they'll spend hours pondering and wasting time and wondering, and at the end of the day they're going to try and haggle and all of that. There's a huge difference in attitude between a well-off person with an abundance mindset versus someone who doesn't, and that attitude towards money shows up in the way that they act with their money. So stop consuming any media or content complaining about capitalism, complaining about the economy, inflation, cost of living crisis. Yes, there's a cost of living crisis. Yes, there's terrible things happening in the world right now, but does it have to be within your reality right now? Or even content criticizing rich people and so on. The news can be informative, but it's mostly fear-mongering. We tend to internalize all the bad news we see, which projects into our reality. Only consume what you want to become, because you are what you consume. Literally, people where I live, they see a Cybertruck in the neighborhood, for example, and they absolutely freak out, they go crazy, and they hate on it. I have no hate towards any kind of symbols or displays of wealth. That's how open I am towards money and abundance. Like, who cares? What other people do with their money has nothing to do with me. I don't make judgments as to how other people live their lives, whether it's cringe or not cringe. I don't even care. But when you think like that and you start hating on all the things that you don't have, it really does affect your overall mindset, which then affects the way that you see your life, and eventually that mindset will trickle down into your pockets. I know for a fact that the majority of people in my neighborhood who hate that car cannot even afford that car. So the lesson here is focus on yourself, kings. Then eventually you can buy a much nicer car than that Cybertruck. That's just all I'm saying. Your energy is going to go where your attention goes. So pay attention to the right things. You can't be insecure in any way, especially in the way that you see money. Security is a huge part in this. You need to feel very secure in yourself. So one way that I like to stay secure and feel in control all the time is to change my mindset from I work for money to money is working for me. I don't serve money. I don't chase money. Money serves me. Money chases me. Opportunities are going to find me and I will accept them. Another way that I stay secure in my finances is to have things like technology serve me so that I can make easier financial plans for myself. So this is where today's sponsor Rocket Money comes in. Rocket Money is an app that I just started using recently to manage all of my finances, and it's been the easiest way to find all of my subscriptions, manage my bills for me, cancel recurring charges with a few clicks. You can even lower your bills so that you can keep more money for yourself. Yes, it literally helps you negotiate your cable bills, your phone bills, your internet service charges on your behalf. So all you have to do is to upload a photo of your bill and tap a few buttons, and then Rocket Money will just take care of everything for you and negotiate for you. Rocket Money has helped save its customers up to $740 a year when they use all their features. Although personally I used it, I think you can save even more than that. So to save more and spend less, you can join the over 5 million members using Rocket Money today. So you can go to rocketmoney.com/mayalice or click the link in the description to get started for free. You can also unlock even more features of premium to save even more money. So that's rocketmoney.com/mayalice to get started for free. And thank you to Rocket Money for sponsoring this video. The abundance mindset is basically just trusting that no matter what you do with your life, you're always going to be taken care of, that you're always going to be okay, even if money flows in and out, it's not going to mess up your life. There's so much money in the world, and not everyone wants the same things. Like with the Cybertruck example, right? What looks like a block of metal for one person is a dream car for another person. Money is an infinite resource, and not everyone wants it. Not everyone thinks that they deserve it. So whoever thinks that way, they get to claim it. You need to build that life for yourself where you get to do all of the things that you love and just simply exist as yourself, and you can make money doing it. I met this couple recently who sails all over the world, and they take people sailing, and that's their job. To me, that's a dream life. Lifestyle vloggers on YouTube, they get paid just to show you how they live their life. People who bought all the right stocks early on, they make the right investments, they're set for life. People who worked really hard to build companies and they're at the top of their game, where their company is their passion, that is their life. We don't create abundance. It's already all around us, and you can do whatever you like to claim that abundance. But you know what you do create? We create limitations. It's kind of like building our own mental prison. And then we lock ourselves inside with our doubts and our what ifs and what abouts, and we throw away the key. What if you can let go of your limiting mindset surrounding money and just let go of the need to survive through money and just trust that the universe is going to provide for you, that you're going to be open to finding abundance in doing all the things that you love. There is no what ifs and what abouts about it. If your environment is bad for you, do whatever it takes to leave. Which leads me to my next point about planning what your financial future looks like once you let go of your lack mentality. So now that you're thinking abundantly, what is the goal here? It's the goal to do what you love and make money while you do it, because you need to realize this. After you make enough money, it literally becomes numbers on the screen. It's paper bills. The real question is, why do you want financial independence, and what are you going to do with it? Do you want to travel the world? Do you want to buy your dream home and provide for your family? Be so secure in yourself that you can go lie down in the flower field somewhere every day and not worry about money at all, or just simply make enough so you can cover your living expenses and save up for your retirement. So figure out exactly what your goals are and then work backwards. How much money do you need in order to make it happen? How are you going to achieve your goals? How are you going to save money? By when do you want to achieve it? What's the minimum amount of money that you need to feel comfortable and secure so that you can pursue independence? So I'm going to put up this questionnaire as well as all the notes from this video for my Patreon subscribers. And they say that the average millionaire has at least 7 streams of income. So over the last few years, I focused on creating as many streams of income that I can manage as possible for myself. So this has included things like working 9-to-5s, freelancing, working side hustles, side gigs, and investments. But right now, my streams of income is looking like me getting paid from YouTube through my ads, brand sponsorships as a content creator, affiliate marketing. I occasionally still do DJ gigs here and there. And yes, I've been a DJ in New York for a long time. My Patreon page, which is actually my smallest income stream, but the one that I'm happiest about because it's proof to me that people believe in my work. So that makes me really happy. And to all my Patreon subscribers, thank you so much for the support. And then there's also random stuff that I do, like consulting, where if people want advice from me, they can email me, we can set up a call, selling things on eBay and consignment shops. I sometimes even participate in paid focus groups, and there's certain industries that pay a lot, like in beauty and in tech, for example. And then I have income generated from my investments like stocks, crypto, index funds. I even own a few rental properties around the world, and I also generate short-term rental income from my houseboat, which sadly I just sold it actually. But I'm also very excited to take that money and use it as down payment for another investment property. So give or take, I want to say I have around 11 to 12 different streams of income. Diversification is really important because if one thing falls through, I still have all of these other random ways to support myself. And the thing about YouTube income specifically is that it fluctuates so wildly every single month. And so I do really appreciate the diversification so that no matter what happens, even if I don't have a YouTube career by tomorrow, I can still feel very secure. I can still be financially independent. The goal for me was to build up enough passive income from my investments to be able to support my expenses. And then everything else on top of that is just icing on the cake, which is something that I've already achieved. So my job right now is basically for me to buy what I like, live my life however I want, and just make sure that I build up even more investment assets down the line so I can eventually retire as a rich old lady. And if I move to a place that's cheaper than New York, then my money will go an even longer way. And we'll talk about all of this. So when it comes to building financial freedom, it comes down to exactly how you invest. So there are 3 types of investing that's available to you, and you should do these things in sequence. Number 1 is investing in yourself. If you're broke and you have literally nothing, this is exactly where you start. Working on your mindset, changing your perspectives about money, and then working on your education, working on your skills, getting a college degree, getting certifications, so then you can build your value in society. Number 2 is investing your time, whether that's working for someone else, earning extra income in side hustles, creating things that you can sell, growing things to sell, or even becoming your own boss and providing a service to people. Becoming a valuable member of society, so to speak. And then there's investing your money. Take cash that you earn and put it into short-term and long-term investments such as properties, stocks, crypto, bonds, and investment accounts to purchase index funds. This is the part where you can take your money that you've earned and use it to work for you. So I'm going to go over all of these things in detail with you. So the first point is to invest in yourself, and that will give you the biggest return no matter what. My entire YouTube channel is all about investing in yourself. To me, this is the first step towards financial independence, especially if you're like me and you don't have anyone else to depend on financially. This is your foundation. You need to work on yourself first, and your education and your qualifications. Create value. Make yourself a valuable person. Why would anyone bring you opportunities if you think that you're worthless? ridiculous. Why would anyone else invest in you if you don't want to invest in yourself? Invest in yourself first. Invest in your confidence, invest in your self-image and your dependability, where your words actually mean something and you can trust yourself. Respectability in the way that you carry yourself so that people can trust you and depend on you to do a good job. Because I promise you, if you're not well adjusted, everything will eventually fall apart, and we don't want that to happen. It happened to me and it was the worst thing ever, honestly. But also what matters is the way you pick yourself up, and I picked myself up in the best way possible, and now I'm living my dream life. So then you need to figure out what you need to be educated in order to live that dream life of yours. If your dream is to become a sailor, you need to first learn how to sail and go to sailing school. If you want to create video games, learn how to create video games. There are two things in life that can never be taken away from you. One is your experience, what you learn from your life lessons. Two is your education, the knowledge that makes you qualified to have your dream job. And honestly, if you're like, well, I don't have a dream job, I just want to be comfortable and do nothing all day, that's fine by me too. Do whatever you want. Figure out what that looks like and figure out what it will take for you to get there. I don't want to judge people in the way that they live their life, but I'm personally not the kind of person who wants to depend on other people, and especially not financially, because that is the literal definition of financial dependence, which is not what this video is about. And I'll get into why that's not great, maybe in another video. But I know that no matter what you want to do and how you want to achieve your own financial independence, you need to invest in yourself. When I hit my rock bottom, it was like starting from square one mentally, except this was only last year for me. So I still had everything that I learned from school, from my previous jobs, from my life experience. I worked for months to heal myself from my trauma, to rebuild my self-worth day by day, until I got to the point where I was mentally healthy enough to take on my dream career of becoming a YouTuber, so I can live my dream life of creating value in people's lives and helping people discover themselves through finding their best selves. That makes me so happy and so fulfilled. But in order for me to do that, I need to first do it for myself and find my best self first. So once you're in a good headspace and you're ready to take on the world, you can then start thinking about how you want to invest your time and contribute to society. Investing in yourself unlocks higher salaries, and that will make everything else so much easier. Your job or career is one of the largest deciders of your wealth in the long run. You should enjoy your job or career, because if you don't and you dread it, you're going to live life on hard mode. Most of us spend the most time at our job, so if you're not happy about going to the office at a 9 to 5 or pulling up at your shift, you should probably figure something else out. You invest in yourself in order to support yourself and to make money, which after subtracting all the living expenses, you can then save money and invest. Investments then make money for you, and that's the key to retirement. That's the key to getting rich. When you realize that money can make even more money, that everything can become a tool for you to make money, then saving up becomes really obvious, but you need to achieve a higher salary to make the savings add up even faster. The more you can get paid, the more you can invest, the higher your gains are. I recommend finding a few high-paying careers that you like to do, and you can get hired to do easily and will be intellectually suited for. And then you can figure out the educations and the certifications that you need in order to get there, and how to get there as cheaply as possible. The usual approach is to go for a higher education, like a 4-year university, or go to community colleges for foundational years, and then transfer to a higher quality school for the final 2 years. Or you can choose a high-skilled trade and take on an apprenticeship or even trade school training for it. Like for example, electricians can make a lot of money, and you would go to trade school for that. And if you want to become a doctor, you go to med school, then law school if you want to become a lawyer, and so on. And then you got to work on getting hired. And speaking as someone who used to hire an entire department of people, typically the people who get hired are the most qualified and also the most well-adjusted, seemingly well-adjusted, because we need to trust whoever gets hired to do the best job. So work hard on getting educated, and then work hard on your presentation in order to get the job. So once you get the job, you can then get away with working a 9 to 5, and then hopefully you're not thinking about your 9 to 5 outside of those hours, and you're thinking about building your future instead. I've definitely had jobs that were so horrible for me that they made me work late Saturday nights and early Sunday mornings on top of the 9 to 5 Monday to Friday. But if you want to move up the ranks, you need to basically be better than everyone else and be the most qualified person to be promoted. And if the company isn't giving you that promotion that you deserve, move on to another company that will value you more. Do what's best for you. These days, the people who make the most and get promoted the most, they move on to different jobs every year or so, and they give themselves raises, they give themselves promotions. You don't need to wait around for your company to do that for you. If you want to become an entrepreneur, figure out what you want to sell or what kind of service you want to provide. You can become an artist, you can start a company, you can offer a service, you can even start a YouTube channel, write a book, produce music, build an app. But in terms of entrepreneurship, I would say build whatever you decide to do as your core skill, and then you can learn sales and marketing on top of that, because the next step is to have people find out about your product or service. And I would say with the internet and social media and how many resources there are these days to learn how to make money, sales and and marketing is an extremely valuable and underrated skill. There's so much money-making potential with entrepreneurship, but there's also significantly more risk that you're taking on because you're basically on your own unless you can secure investors and also mentors who can help you. And you're only as successful as how much work and finesse you put into your venture. So there's this misconception that doing things like creating digital products or whatever is passive income. That's not true at all. For example, I've created some digital products myself, but I've done zero marketing for it, so I didn't sell anything. You can make these products and then you can rely on the traffic that you generate from marketing. And when it comes to sales, like learning things like copywriting will be huge. You can also work weekends, you can do freelance gigs and projects, whatever you want and whatever you're good at. So currently being a YouTuber is my job, and this is what I spend most of my time doing, making videos for you guys. And this is what's bringing the most joy in my life right now, so I want to keep doing it. But throughout the years, I've also been a DJ, I've worked in live music, I've been a marketer, a freelance researcher, I've done consulting gigs, I've done graphic design, I joined focus groups to make money, I've done a ton of freelance gigs, and all of it adds up in my savings. And that's the savings that I use to invest. So now that you make all that money from working your jobs, which hopefully are in a high yield savings account, especially if you're in the US, you can find a lot of bank accounts that can give you a 4 to 5% return rate on your savings. That's literally free money. So now it's time to put those savings into investments. This is where your money can start to work for you and create that so-called passive income. Because saving money is just not enough. We're all getting screwed over by the cost of living crisis, that investing is basically helping us not only conserve the value of our money, but also give us a more secure future. The idea is that investments such as property, stocks, crypto, bonds, and index funds will basically go up in value from where you bought it. So then you can sell it at a higher price eventually. And then with property, how it works is on top of the value itself going up, you can also use it to generate rental income or live in that property yourself so you don't have to pay rent, which for most people is probably the biggest monthly expense and can really add up over the years. So if you have enough savings for a down payment, you can get financing, and you want to invest in property, then you need to make sure that you're getting a good deal with what you're paying for and that the value will definitely go up eventually. A lot of these factors can also depend on the demand, what the city is like, how rare the land is, population changes, and so on. So over the last few years, I've managed to scoop up a few properties in Asia when it was at a very cheap price during COVID, and they became my investment properties, which I'm also renting out. Now that I sold my houseboat, I'm looking for the next investment. As for stocks and crypto, you want to find brokerage platforms where you can basically send your money to and you can trade your assets within their platform. And the same thing goes for bonds and index funds. So stocks basically represent ownership in a company. When you buy a share of stock, you own a small part of that company. And then bonds are essentially loans that you give to a government or a corporation, and then in return they agree to pay you back the principal amount at a future date, also known as the maturity date, and they will also make regular interest payments until that date. An index fund is a type of investment fund that aims to replicate the performance of a specific market index. Like in the US, you have the S&P 500. It pulls money from investors to purchase a diversified portfolio of stocks or bonds that matches the index that is tracking. Cryptocurrency is a newer way of investment, and it's basically digital currency that you can own rather than owning dollars or regular fiat currency. Stocks and crypto are generally higher risk but higher reward compared to bonds, which are basically you lending money and making an interest rate. But you can also lend crypto as well technically, as well as stake crypto, which is basically locking it up to support the blockchain, and in return you can make even more crypto. And then index funds are like a diversified portfolio of stocks, and in terms of risk and reward, it's somewhere in the middle. So no matter what you decide to do, whether it's buying stocks or real estate, or you can even become a major investor in a company if you're a baller, and at the end of the day you're using your money to make even more money for you. And it's passive most of the time, except when you're actively managing your assets. Some people are full-time investors where they spend all their time managing their own investments, or they could also spend their time managing investments for other people and make a small fee out of it. So it's not always fully passive, but it can be if you pay someone to manage it for you. And then in order to hold on to your money and make more, you need to become in control of it and have cash on hand to invest in those passive streams of income that I was talking about. So while you don't have to be extremely frugal to the point where you're afraid of not having money, you also want to be able to save money so you can invest it. Pay off your credit card loan in full every month, because credit card debt is a huge no-no. In fact, try not to be in debt in general if you can. You should be making interest, not paying interest. Don't live above your means and ball out every night. Luxury goods are not necessities. Your rent shouldn't be the majority of your income. Also, taking care of yourself and having good health means that you're also going to have less medical bills. A growth mindset means that you'll keep finding ways to grow and make money and improve yourself. And if your city is too expensive to live in and you don't need to depend on it for opportunities, moving to a cheaper place means that your money will go even further. There are a million ways on how to save money. But yeah, basically manage it well. Like the app that I mentioned, Rocket Money, is super helpful with helping you manage and budget correctly. And if this video helped you with your money mindset at all, or is giving you some good ideas on how to improve and live an independent life, I hope that you can give my video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And let me know in the comments if there's anything that I've missed so that I can make it part 2. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.